good as game as I have ever seen the Lions played. We'll break it down, but first, let's introduce everybody that's on the show right now. First up, we got the field general himself, Mr. Luke G's Field Review. How you doing, man?
Man, what it do? Salute. You don't hear no sadness in my voice. Not one bit.
I do seem hear a little bit of sickness in your voice still.
I'm still upset.
Micro Mike, man, how you doing?
Hey, man, I'm doing great, man. I'm doing great. It was a good game. Kind of pictured how it played out. A little weird with the fumbles, but good job by the Lions, man. They played their hearts out.
So, I've been seeing on Twitter, and we got some of it in the chat, that this is the same old Lions. Now, personally,
Oh
I
my
do not
god.
agree with that.
No,
Fellas,
ain't no.
who wants to address that one? I'm gonna let Luke go. He seems
No,
kind
let
of
me
hot about that one.
let me go ahead and get this out the way. If you came in here and you said same old Lions, I'm gonna call same old Lions fan. Get the fuck out of here with that. Okay. The reason that can't fly with this game is because this is the best football the Lions have played this entire season. This is absolutely the best football they have played. You want to talk about same old Lions? Let's talk about some of the things that happened in the game that was unusual. Okay, they held Patrick Mahomes without a touchdown. Same old Lions. Same old Lions. This team turned around and it took for a crazy fumble that everybody thought was dead that they ran back and said was a touchdown to win this game. We outrushed this team. We had better time possession than this team. The defense did not break. It took every unusual circumstance possible for us to take a loss. And if that's not enough proof, let's talk about what else happened. There was touchdowns in this game that were made and taken away. This team had opportunities and missed it, yes. But if you come in here and say same old Lions, then go take your same old Lions fan self up out this chat. Because you need to be put in timeout. You need to go and understand what happens in football. We are not here wasting our breath, our energy, time away from our family, our friends, and stuff for people to come in here with the same old Lions statement. This is not the same old Lions team. The same old Lions team would have got blew out by this team. The same old Lions team would have had Patrick Mahomes looking like he was the second coming of Jesus. That man didn't put the ball in the end zone, people. He didn't. The defense did their part. We ran the ball. This was the most complete game. Same old Lions team. How many turnovers did you have this game? How many? How many fumbles and fumble recoveries did we have? They played their butts off. Now, I'm not going to act like it was a perfect game by no stretch. But I do know for a fact that this game was more about what happened with some bad officiating on both sides, but mostly on ours. And I'm not blaming the refs. I'm just saying a touchdown is a touchdown, and truth is truth. But outside of that, this is not the same old Lions team. And if you come in here with that, I understand Luke G today is in a really good mood to make you look foolish. Don't play yourself. Do your research. Don't do this to yourself. This is not the same old Lions team.
I like your passion, man. Micro Mike, what do you have to say to the people who are saying this is the same old Lions that have been terrible for years?
Looks, guys, this game was a really good game against a Super Bowl caliber team. Patrick Mahomes was coming into this game looking like he's the greatest thing ever, and we shut him down fairly well, considering the fact Darius Slay is not playing and Diggs went down. I am so absolutely proud of this defense. They played their hearts out. It was a weird game with all the injuries, with the fumbles. I think it was 5 turnovers in the third quarter, fumbles in the third quarter. This is definitely not the same old Lions, man. It was a really, really good game. I'm very proud of the Lions and how they played to the end, even getting that to the 50-yard line to to Marvin Jones Jr. Almost got the Hail Mary. That was a really good game. Obviously, it was disappointing, but I'm very proud of how my Lions played. No one can say now that the Lions are some scrub team. We literally showed the world that this team is something to reckon with. And when it comes to the injuries of TJ Hawkinson, yeah, hopefully he's good to go. And it is definitely a good time for a bye week. Ton of injuries, but I'm very proud of this team. This defense is for real. And good luck to the NFC North, man. Because if we can hold Patrick Mahomes to what we just did today, guess what, man? Let's see. Aaron Rodgers, he ain't playing like to Patrick Mahomes. Can we really talk about Kirk Cousins and Trubisky? So I'm very proud of my team. The Lions got better. The coaching decisions was much better. They're progressing each game. They're getting better, and I'm very excited to see the future games for this team.
I mean, but let's be honest. Let's be honest, because this same old Lions thing got me feeling some kind of way. This same old Lions. I mean, listen, was the same old Lions when your quarterback who didn't have his best game because he's hurt, didn't have his best game, he still outplayed Patrick Mahomes?
An MVP, might I throw out there?
He still outplayed Patrick Mahomes. Like, is this same old Lions when the Lions averaged, what was it, 2.7 yards a carry? They rushed for almost like 200 yards. Same old Lions? This is what we doing. Okay? This is what we doing. Well, there's some mental mistakes, yes. But same old Lions. This is the same old Lions team that lost by 4 points with no Darius Slay. TJ Hawkinson got hurt in the game. Ford got hurt in the game. They messed around and lost Quandre Diggs in the game. Same old Lions. That's what they say. This was a game of inches, and they came out and performed well. For all the people who say, "Oh, I'm disappointed we took a loss," and blah 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 blah. Tell me this: did you have them winning the game? Because we got a pick'em league, and I didn't see a lot of people picking the Lions. So we're gonna go and look at that pick'em league, and we're gonna find out who telling the truth and who lying. So don't post up in here saying that I had them winning and they didn't.
And I see some trolling already going on. I am not salty at all. We're not salty at all. We're talking about how the same old Lions, this indication it's the same old Lions is ridiculous. We played Kansas City very tough, absolutely tough. Very proud of this team. I didn't expect to win. I said, 37-33, ended up being 34-30. Lions, man, I'm very proud of how they played, and it's just one loss. It's just one game. And when you play a Kansas City team that's a Super Bowl contender, a fantastic team they got the way we did, so proud of the team, man. Great game.
Absolutely. They turned that team around every chance that they got. They turned that team around on the defense and on the offense. I got to be honest. We moved the ball really well. We had a few drives that we left out there. Stafford needs to know to throw the ball away. But if any Kansas City Chiefs fan come in here and say, "Oh, y'all so salty," then sir, go back and relax because you was holding your breath praying. You probably had 1,300 Hail Marys praying to yourself, "Jesus, please no, not like this, God. God, no, don't do me like this." You was in panic mode. If you watch this game and you a Kansas City Chiefs fan and you can't see what happened in this game, you need to ask yourself some questions. Your team got problems, okay? Your team's got problems because they can't run the ball. They had 2 big runs the whole game, and after that, didn't do squat. Didn't do squat. This is more about what the Lions didn't do. The Lions shot themselves in the foot a few times, and then they got some help from the referees and so forth and so on. But man, when I tell you this was a good game, this was a good game. The best game the Lions have played. I can't even begin to break this down in terms of clowning people. In my opinion, the MVP of the game was number 35, Chavez Ward for the Kansas City Chiefs because we picked on him all day. Y'all better pray to God y'all get y'all Tyreek Hill back soon. And you better pray to God you find a cornerback. You better go out and give up 2 firsts, 2 seconds, and a third to go and get Patrick Ramsey because number 35 is a liability. Don't believe me? Go and watch what all our plays was made on.
Real quick, we got a super chat in from Nicholas Arian, $2. Thank you so much. He says, "Please say, Andy, you're wrong. Lions are a great team." Andy, you're wrong. The Lions are a great team.
Absolutely. They are.
Yes, absolutely.
They are.
Again, with this idea of the same old Lions, this was a great team. You're gonna lose games. You're not gonna go 16-0 or 15-0-1. You're gonna lose games, and definitely proud of how the Lions played. They played through injuries. They played through so much scenarios of weird game when it comes to the refs and the fumbles. Very, very happy how they played, and I'm happy for Matt Patricia. He really played a fantastic defensive game. I think his game plan was phenomenal, considering the fact we were out so many starters on defense. Just people were falling out. great game for him, and his clock and time management was phenomenal. And you're noticing them get better. He's getting better each game. And even though this was a loss, this was the best all-around game so far I've seen this year.
I agree. And for me personally, I was on the fence with this team. I wasn't necessarily bought into it yet. Well, guess what? After this game, I'm bought into this team. This team can go out here and beat anybody. Even though we lost, and that's the first loss we took of the season, they showed me more today than they did in any of their wins or their ties. This Lions team is competitive. This Lions team is going to be a tough team to beat in Detroit. There's not going to be too many people who are going to come into Detroit and dismantle us. Kansas City is a favorite to win the NFL Super Bowl. Now, how many good teams are there in the NFL? There's a bunch of them. And people have the Chiefs number one, and we came so close to beating them. It just happened to turn out to a shootout, and we held Kansas City to 13 points at the half, and they scored 30 in the second half. There's not a whole lot you can do to stop that. Kansas City, at the end of the day, is a great team. And the fact that the Lions held in that long and made it competitive, we didn't even lose by double digits. We lost by a single possession that, if the ball goes a different way, the Hail Mary, it's a different story.
And take it a step further, Drew. One step further, Drew. Let's talk about this part right here, okay? When you go through and you look at this team, you put out a very good point of saying that it was one possession. It really was one possession the entire time. The truth was, here's a guy, Patrick Mahomes, who everybody giving all this praise to. He did not have a good game. He missed a bunch of throws. Oh, by the way, with all those people who was talking that crazy stuff, I said the Lions would run the ball. I said Carry-On would have 100 yards rushing. I said the Lions would win the game. It came down to one possession. Every step of the way, we was fighting against some type of adversity. And this team came and showed up and showed out. Where was the pass rush at? Oh, it was there today. They was touching him, making the pocket uncomfortable. He was doing some awkward stuff. They took away Travis Kelce. Listen, I said this in the game against the Chargers. I love how this team is now responding and return to people getting tackled. When one person is tackled, the other one is coming to punch it out. They were just out there for the ball. They played their butts off, and they did their best job. Were there some plays missed? Yes. But when I walk away from this game, I saw so many things. I saw a team who fought for their coach. If that was Jim Caldwell, we would have lost by double digits. I believe that hands down. We would have lost by double digits. But the play calling was there. The intensity was there. They played up to it. And I'm going to be honest with you. They really outperformed the Kansas City Chiefs. They won the first quarter. They tied the second, won the third, and tied the fourth. And it came down to some questionable calls to get them there.
Folks, we have 78 in the chat and 25 thumbs up. Let's get that number up. I see we got 1 thumbs down as well. And look, the Lions played a hell of a game, man. You're not going to win them all. And what I want to see is I want to see the passion that they played. The crowd showed up. The players was feeding off it. They were looking great, man. They were looking great. So many times in this game, I felt like the Lions could have won it, but at the same time, I felt like they could have lost it because it's a great team they played against. I'm very, very happy with the way they played. And I hope now the NFL world will start to give a little more respect to the Lions because it is not the same old Lions. It's not this terrible team. It's not this team that's going to take last place in the NFC North. And Green Bay needs to look out. They definitely need to look out because now we got a bye week. And folks, I think the NFL world knows that this is a different team now in Detroit.
You know, the things that jumped out to me the most was I wish the Lions would have ran it more, and I wish they would have ran Ty Johnson more. I will say that. I wish they would have ran him more. I wish I'd have saw more of the 2-back sets, but I got to be honest. This game was literally one possession, and had the Lions just scored one more time, we're not getting same old Lions comments. If you saying same old Lions, you are an idiot. Okay, I'm just gonna be rude today because I can't put up with it today. I'm sick and I'm not for the dumb stuff today. Okay, I just can't do it. If you come in here saying that same old Lions stuff, because I'm seeing it come up too many times, I'm gonna clown you. You tell me what was same old Lions when you hold the supposed MVP, getting ready to make his MVP. He didn't get no touchdowns, people. And then they put a stat up talking about this is a record for Patrick Mahomes scoring 25 points in the third straight game. Hold the hell up. He didn't score shit. Not a rushing touchdown. He didn't get no throwing touchdown. What 25 points did he get? Your defense gave you 7. The rest was field goals. What did he get? See, that's what I'm talking about right here. Y'all don't pay attention. I keep trying to tell y'all do your research, but y'all don't want to listen.
What I really liked is how our secondary played, and like I've been saying all off season and throughout the year, that this secondary could be the best in the NFL, and it just proved it again today. We're missing out. What we talk about is depth. Depth is vital to a team. We lose Darius Slay. What? Big deal. Mike Ford comes in. He plays phenomenal in his position. Same with Coleman, who had an MVP type game today, man. Coleman was on fire, and Rashawn Melvin's been fantastic. Diggs gets hurt, and we're still charging, man. This is a really good secondary. I'm super excited to see this going forward because quarterback's going to have a lot of issues. I think Trubisky is going to have a lot of issues against this team. Aaron Rodgers is not the same. He's going to have a lot of issues, and Kirk Cousins. I think this is definitely our division to win. And when we say about the offenses, we want to see progress. It was a new scheme. Each game you want to see getting better, and they did. They progressed. I love the play calling by Darrell Bevel. He mixed it up. I love the personnel they threw in there. McKissick. They played a great game all around, and I'm very, very proud of this team.
I mean, the thing is, and I see people like, man, calm down. Y'all don't get it, do y'all? Y'all don't get it. The Lions played a complete game today, people. Go back to your mental Rolodex and tell me the last time you saw the Lions play a complete game. Y'all may look at it and think I'm crazy. We lost, Luke. You know, we lost. You shouldn't be this happy in a loss, Luke. But I am. I am because I saw special teams dominate. I saw defense dominate. I saw the offense get it done. And it took all the most unusual things to occur for us to take a loss. Almost like the NFL knew and wanted this team to win. They didn't even cover the point spread. All I kept hearing from Kansas City Chiefs fans and Lions haters who claim that they're fans is how we going to get blown out. That's all I kept hearing. Right? And guess what? There wasn't not one point in this game where I didn't feel like we went out of it. Don't believe me? Ask Mike. Ask Mike, because I talked to him the entire time. Ask Mike did I lose faith 1 minute.
Folks, Dominique Davis just dropped a $4.99 super chat. He says, if Kansas City dominates the other teams in our division, I wonder if we'll get more respect. I think we're going to get more respect right now after this game. Dominique, and thank you so much for that super chat.
I appreciate it, man. It means a lot to me, man.
And Luke is right, man. The whole time, even to the last point, he's like, hey, the Lions can win this. And I'm like, look, man, I think, again, Kansas City's going to win. I'm very happy with how the team played. They showed a lot. They showed a lot to me. They played a complete game. Obviously, it wasn't to win, and you want to see them do better. But when you look at special teams, they didn't make a lot of screw-ups, anything like that. When you look at defense, man, given the circumstances, they played fantastic against Patrick Mahomes and injuries. And the offense, I love the play call. I love the mix between the pass and the run. Complete game.
So I want to know from the people in the chat who are saying same old Lions, why is this the same old Lions? Because this team did nothing wrong. This team played pretty much perfect for the entire game. Did we fumble the ball? Yes, we did. And there was a couple calls that didn't go our way. But at the end of the day, Kansas City turned the ball over more. It was just an unfortunate way the ball bounced. I don't see how you guys could keep saying this is the same old Lions because this team has gotten better each and every week. And I see a lot of you guys out here saying, yeah, we tied to Arizona. Okay. Personally, I was not happy when we tied with Arizona because that was a poor game management game. We should have won it, should have never gone into overtime. I understand. I get it. But they bounced back 2 weeks in a row, beating 2 playoff teams, one at home in the Chargers and one on the road in Philadelphia. Both of those teams are going to be playoff contenders. Not saying that they're going to make it because the race to make the wild card is always going to be tough, but those guys are competitive to be front runners to go in there. And if they do get in there, guess what? They're going to have a good shot at winning it because they've been there before. They have tons of experience. Now you go home and you play a Super Bowl contender in Kansas City Chiefs, and it was a close game. You had the lead for most of the game. It was back and forth. I think they said there was like 5 or 6 lead changes. You guys were never out of this game. They never gave up. They always went with the next play thinking, yeah, we're going to come up with this one. Now, unfortunately, Kansas City just got the ball pretty close to the end of the game, and we couldn't stop them. It's Kansas City. I wasn't expecting to stop them. I was just expecting to slow them down, and guess what? For the most part, we did.
But you know what? You know what this is? Let me do this. Because I told you if you do it, I'm coming to get you. All right. Curtis Schultz. Okay, let me go back up and read his little comment because the level of this, and this is why I tell people, do your research. Because I study football. I don't study the team. Curtis Schultz says the offense keeps getting field goals. They didn't do it. If they got one field goal as a touchdown, they would have won. Same old Lions. Let me help you out, Curtis Schultz. How many touchdown passes did Stafford throw? 3? So this is not field goals. So we know that they put up 21. Where did the Kansas City Chiefs points come from? Field goals. Oh, okay. They had 2 rushing touchdowns, and then they had the 1 touchdown from defense. Same on Lions. Hold on, let me ask you a question. You say if they score, if any one of those field goals were a touchdown, how about if they just ruled the runner down where his forward progress was stopped like they usually do? How about that? How about they actually give him a touchdown that they had before we had to take a field goal on it? Where they claimed that Kenny Galladay didn't have possession while his feet were in. How about that? You want to say same old Lions? I'm going to call same old Lions fan. How about you take a second to actually just sit down, watch a football game, take your emotions out of it, and pay attention to what happens in football. Not come up with this weird stuff. Then he goes, oh, you're proving my point. Yeah, I'm proving your point. I'm proving that you don't know football. I'm proving that you're not clear about what football is because you seem to think that one field goal would be a touchdown. They got the 1 touchdown. They turned it over in terms of the referee saying it wasn't a touchdown, even though they came back later and said that the similar catch was a touchdown. Funny how that works. It was a luck of a draw, and yet that's the same old Lions. The real MVP go to those fans who cause hell up in that stadium. You, sir, need to go and learn your sports. You the person I talk to when I say please do your research because I'm telling you, you're wrong and you're flat out off base about this. To sit there and make it seem like this is the same old Lions thing is absolutely absurd. You can't tell me that that this is the same old Lions team because they should have just turned 1 more into a touchdown. And then what? The offense of the Kansas City Chiefs was held to 2 rushing touchdowns, and they only got down there on penalties. Penalties that were questionable. Questionable penalties. Yet they're the same old Lions. Boy, if you don't stop it, if you don't get up out of here with that, and Andrew Football said, you go, yeah, I'm going off because what people don't understand is football is different than Madden. This ain't Madden, man. They played a complete game, and they came up short. And if you can't see that, it's because you only focus on the dumb stuff. That's all it boiled down to. And Tyler brings up a good point. This all happens from the carry-on fumble. That's the only thing that's going on here. That's the only thing that's going on here. He goes, you're yelling your emotions. No, I'm literally just speaking the truth. You think it's emotions. I'm just really talking to you the way that you want to talk. You talk crazy, I talk crazy back. I just think it should go.
Well, I love the fire and passion from you, Luke, because you're right. You're absolutely right. This is not the same old Lions. I don't understand why people are upset with this loss because no one was giving us a chance to win this game.
No one.
Not even me.
No one.
Biggest Lions fan in the world, it feels like. I predicted them a loss. I said it'd be a close game. Again, 37-33, ended up being 34-30. I'm very proud the way they played, so I don't understand this idea that, if they lose a game, it's the same old Lions. It's against a great team. There's only been 2 teams in history to go undefeated, and the Lions were not going to do that. So it is what it is.
It's just crazy because, Mike, I know you said you talked about it, and it happened to me too. I took a lot of hell for saying the Lions weren't going to win this game. And now that we don't win this game, we're the same old Lions. It doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
I got told I'm not a Lions fan because I predicted them to lose by a couple of points. And my thing was is Kansas City is rolling on all cylinders when it comes to basically special teams, offense, well, not defense, but coaching well team. They're a very well coached team. They don't shoot themselves in the foot as much. And I felt like the Lions still have a little bit of that to learn to do. They'll take that next step, in which they did, but they shot themselves in the foot a little bit. But they played a really great game. I'm very proud, man. Very proud the way they played. And that's not the same old Lions. The same old Lions would have got blown up by this game. It would have been a 44-14 prediction, in which a lot of Kansas City fans predicted. But in my opinion, the Lions are in the right direction. And absolutely, they did a great job, man. They did a great job.
So let me ask you this. I think Luke's AFK.
No,
Obviously,
I'm good. I'm good
okay.
right now, man. I'm
All right.
good.
So
Now let me just say this.
go ahead.
People think because I'm excited for what I just saw in the Lions team, even in the loss, that I'm emotional and I'm upset. No, 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 no. I have told you that I will criticize this team in win, loss, or draw. I criticized them in the draw. I criticized them in the win. I praised them in this loss. I praised them in this loss. If you would have told me that the Detroit Lions would have a game be this close to come down to the last play after not having a Darius Slay, not having a Quandre Diggs to finish the game, not having TJ Hawkinson finish the game, I would have told you crazy. I'd have said, man, we'd have got blew out. But leave it to the same old Lions fans to not understand how to see greatness even in the loss. What I saw today was a complete game on all three levels, and that's how we should be every single week, week in and week out.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Look, it was a great game all around. This is what I predict. This is what I predicted. They're going to get better. If I'm a Green Bay fan, I am worried about this game coming up in 2 weeks, because the Lions are really getting better on every part of their team when it comes to coaching, when it comes to game calling plays, when it comes to taking timeouts and time management. The players itself, man, we have a lot of depth in this team, and it showed today. That's what's so important about depth, and thanks to Bob Quinn, by putting a lot of players in there just in case of injuries, because they do occur. And with that depth, man, we still kept playing really good, really well. And Green Bay, it's coming, man. This is a real team coming at you. The NFC North, you need to watch out, because the Lions are for real.
So let me make a transition here, because potentially we have a very serious injury on our hands with TJ Hawkinson. I don't know if everyone in the chat seen the game all the way through or not, has heard about it, but in case you have not, they hit TJ Hawkinson over the middle with a slant, and he went to go hurdle somebody and came down on his shoulder and his head and got knocked out. His hands went straight up into the air. First of all, how do you guys feel about the hurdle, especially coming in from the tight end position, and how long do you think TJ will be out? Because I don't think they officially diagnosed him with a concussion. Last I heard, they just took him back to evaluate for him. So, Mr. Luke G, what are your thoughts on the whole TJ Hawkinson scenario there?
I freaking hate the hurdle. When he did it in preseason, I was mad. I hate it. You listen, you have a chance to do something that nobody else can do, and that is set all kind of records as a tight end. You don't need to jump over nobody. Run through them. Just run through them. And what I saw was a guy who was trying to make a play. I get it. But he didn't need to make that play because he wasn't going to get the first anyway. He should have set him up and ran through him. One of the plays that we're not talking about, which was a beautiful heads-up play, was when Travis Kelce gets the ball, knowing that he's going to go down, and it kills the drive. He flicks it forward to the running back. Our players have to be able to understand the situations in the games and be able to have the response according to it. And what I mean by that is they just simply need to understand that is this play worth you getting it? If you're doing that same little hurdle when you by the goal line, I respect that. But that hurdle wasn't needed right there. I don't like the hurdle one at all. I mean, and then you go through Logan Thomas, he did it. He gets caught in the air by literally freaking Tyrann Mathieu. And I'm like, what? Run through him. But then what
Right.
happens? The next play, they throw it to him. He runs through the guy. What do you know? You can actually do it. This is what I don't get. We as a team should not be excited for the jump over plays like how we get excited for dunking. We shouldn't. In my opinion, I hope he's not out long. Thank God for the bye week being week 5 at this point because we're gonna need him against Green Bay. I can tell you that right now. We're gonna need him big time.
I absolutely agree. That was Thomas who ran over that one dude, correct, Luke?
Yep. That was time, man. He man lowered the boom on that
And
linebacker.
and
Now
he
let
knocked
me
him silly. Go ahead. I was gonna pass it to you, Mike. Go ahead.
You know what was one of my favorite plays, and it's going to go down is a great play. Is when Matthew Stafford ran into he ran to that linebacker, I think it was, and bowled him over for what 7 yard gain. That was another play I love seeing. And I know it wasn't the tight end. We're talking about tight ends, but yeah, you got to run through these players. I do every once in a while enjoy a jump over, but this is the net result that can happen is you can land wrong. Luckily, he didn't break an arm, but he definitely looked like he had a concussion. His head just whapped on the ground really, really hard. They need to understand, just run through the guy. If you're running as a quarterback, slide. No need to do this crazy jump over stuff. Again, like if it's a touchdown and you're at the goal line, I get it. But man, this is the net result. And TJ Hawkinson's got to learn. He's got to rest his head for a couple weeks. And hopefully he's good to go against Green Bay. But I'm very proud of how well all our tight ends played, man. I mean, Thompson came in there and he did well. He did well.
I agree. Um, Personally, I'm happy for this Lions team because they showed a leap. Because, like you guys have said earlier, the same old Lions wouldn't have done as well against this team. Now, for me, the best thing about this team was the defense today. Now, granted, they gave up 30 some points, but they held Patrick Mahomes to 0 touchdowns. Mike, what was the best aspect of the Lions playing today?
Oh man, can we talk about that secondary? That secondary was just on a different level today. Again, without Darius Slay and Quandre Diggs most of the game. They were sticky on the wide receivers. They were not letting the big play happen. Now, we all know Patrick Mahomes, he's the man with the big arm, and he does the big plays, and they locked that talented, speedy wide receiver core and tight end down. They were doubling Kelsey, and they still weren't getting the big play. Absolutely stunning the way this secondary played, and it continues to show that it's not a fluke, that this is for real. The defense is getting better all around, a lot of pressure on the quarterback, and man, that secondary was the MVP. Coleman, he was playing out of his mind. Absolutely phenomenal.
And Mike, you point out some things that stand out to me. If you look at this game, every question mark that people had, oh, the offensive line can't hold. The 2 sacks that they gave up was solely on the quarterback. It was solely on the quarterback. He needs to know when to throw the ball away. That's part of the process. But outside of that, they said, where's the depth at? We had a lot of people in the secondary missing. They still showed up and played well.
Absolutely.
We lost a tight end. Another tight end stepped in. Logan Thomas stepped up. Right? Every question you want to know, oh, can we be more aggressive in the play calling? They was. Can we make adjustments to hold this team down? We did. We should have been up 17-0. However, some things don't bounce that way. Some things don't bounce that way. And at the end of the way, that's what's going to happen.
Positively just dropped you $10. Awesome job, Positively, to Detroit True.
I appreciate that, man. You got to join the show, man. Where you been at?
E-Dog, he says Fat Patricia should be fired still. That's ridiculous.
Ooh.
He played a phenomenal game. I would not be surprised if the rest of the NFL looks at the strategy that the Lions use on this defense and they turn around and copy it, because it did the best that I've seen against Patrick Mahomes in a really long time. They did a phenomenal job, and I would not be shocked if you start seeing teams do exactly what Patricia did.
All right, Mike, let me ask you another one while we're waiting for Mr. Luke to come back. Matthew Stafford played terrific, in my opinion. Probably one of his best games, maybe of all time. Played very efficient, outplayed Patrick Mahomes. What are you seeing from Stafford this year that is separating this level of offense from previous years?
I believe that KFC really held back Matthew Stafford and he didn't trust him. The play calling was absolutely terrible. The defenses knew exactly what they're going to do, and the wide receivers were not getting separation. If you're a wide receiver, it's imperative to get a little bit of separation, or else the quarterback is not going to be able to get the ball exactly where he wants, and there's going to be less completions. So I think, and you're seeing again that the new scheme that they're having with the ability to run the ball and a lot of play action, it's helping out Matthew Stafford. Now he still made a couple hiccup plays, but overall he did really well. He was injured, he's playing a little bit limp, and he was putting the ball exactly where it needed to be. I mean, the Kenny Galladay touchdowns was precise. It was perfect. Now the run and fumble, he's got to be more aware of the timing and where they're at on the field because you're at the goal line. But again, I think it's more trust from the coaching staff. It's the ability to have play calls that is not known by the defense, and that's very imperative. And having these tight ends giving up more separation to the wide receivers, the more playmakers you have, the more separation you're going to get. And I think all that comes in, and you're seeing a better Matthew Stafford.
I mean, yeah, this
Go ahead,
this
Luke.
team this team improved on every level, man. I'm serious. They improved on every level. Even when there was some bad in this game, the call to the response was impressive. They oh well we messed up here, but let's come back here. That defense played lights out. Lights out. If you're a fantasy football player, how many points did you get from Patrick Mahomes this week? I know there's a lot of fantasy people in here that's gonna say SOL. How many points did you get from Patrick Mahomes? Because he didn't run for a touchdown and he didn't throw for one. He got his yards, and that's what the defense has been doing. The defense has been giving up yards, but they have not been doing the opposite of giving up those points like they were. And I'm telling you, it really did bounce to one possession. And even before, if they go back and they say, "Oh, the Lions didn't have a touchdown that Kenny Galladay won," we still got more time to kill clock and score. So it's something that could have changed. You as a Lions fan should be very proud of this team.
I agree. And you know what, man? I think that today showed that at Ford Field, those people there are fully behind this team. This was the loudest I have heard Ford Field in quite some time, probably since the last time we made it to the playoffs. This team has got the city behind them for the most part. I see there's still a couple of you in the chat that aren't onto it yet, and Don can attest to this in the chat. Um, I wasn't fully bought in on this team yet. And I went on record to say if the Lions won this game, that they were going to win the NFC North, which just because they lost it doesn't mean they're not going to. And you know what? I think that this team's still going to win the NFC North because today they showed heart, they showed determination, and they're not going to back down from anybody. They've played well against the three best teams in the league. You go back to last season, the Patriots won the Super Bowl. They beat them. They almost beat the Rams last year. Guess what? They were the runners up in the Super Bowl. And they almost beat the Kansas City Chiefs this year. Guess what? They're Super Bowl favorites. This team is probably the
Preach.
complete opposite of what it has been. Over the years, the knock on this team is that Matthew Stafford can't beat real teams. The Lions can't beat real teams. Well, guess what? We're beating the real teams. And if we're not beating them, guess what? We're not getting blown out by them like we were. We're making it competitive. We're making it where Detroit and Ford Field is a place where a team's looking at the schedule and said, oh, man, we got to go to Detroit. So even if we do win, it's going to be a battle. And guess what? That's what today was. Today was a battle. And it was probably the best game top to bottom that this Detroit Lions team has played in quite a long time. This is probably the best game that they have played since the New England Patriots game.
Folks, we have 115 in the chat and only 59 thumbs up. Let's get those thumbs up, man, to match exactly the amount of people we are in here. So again, we
Absolutely.
can defeat the mainstream legacy narrative that has been destroying this team for years and years. And what we do with the DSA is give you a real perspective of what's taking place and try to give you the most unbiased opinion as humanly possible. Obviously, we're a little biased because we love our Lions, but we do the best to break the game down and give you great content to listen to.
I mean, listen, I'm telling you, I am stoked about what I seen today. I mean, the only thing that can take me off this high would be for them to basically come in and drop and lay an egg against Green Bay. I have no doubt that we go to Green Bay and cause problems. Green Bay kept telling everybody for weeks, we got a defense. We got a defense. Well, guess what? They lost to a team we beat. Okay? They lost to a team we beat. And yeah, it was an ugly win for us. Nonetheless, we still won that game. We could have won this game. And I dare anybody to come in here and say that it wasn't no point in time that they thought that we were in this game. We were always in this game. Always in it. They didn't get the lead. Here go a fun fact. They didn't get the lead until I'm gonna say the end of the third quarter is when they got the lead. That's impressive, people. Maybe even the fourth. Man, I'm excited for this team. I'm excited from what I saw from the head coach. He had them boys prepared and ready to play, and that's what I wanted to see.
And you know what though? We got 2 weeks for two things. One, obviously getting ready for Green Bay. We just seen what they did against the Philadelphia Eagles. We're gonna watch some game film and see what the Philadelphia Eagles did to win that game. Second thing is we got 2 weeks to get healthy. So if Stafford's not at 100%, he's gonna have some time to get ready to be 100%. And guess what? You're gonna have Slay coming back. Hopefully, Quandre Diggs can come back. I'm not sure how long he's going to be out. I believe he had a hamstring injury as well. Ford did have a concussion. No, he came back. Who? Maybe it was TJ that had
TJ Hawkinson had the concussion.
Yeah.
Ford did come back.
So I mean, we're dealing with injuries already going into this game, and we had a few people go down in the game. So we battled not only the Kansas City Chiefs, and some want to say we battled the refs, but we battled in-game injuries as well. We overcame and almost won this game. With all those odds stacked against us, I don't see how anyone could be disappointed in this team. I honestly don't.
I do, because misery loves company. And when you were upset because things didn't go well for your fantasy team, your Madden team gonna lose a few points, you don't know how to act. But I promise you, this right here, if you think about this from this standpoint, I made a lot of references to Michigan, and I talked about like why did Michigan struggle with Army, and people say, well, Michigan State lost to Arizona State, and I say, yeah, they did, but who does Army walk into their room and say, hey, we're Army, we want the best player in the United States out of high school to play for our team, and that kid goes, yeah, I'm picking you over Michigan, I'm picking you over Alabama, I'm picking you over LSU and Clemson and Georgia. No, they're not doing that. I looked at this game and I just flipped it. And I said, no, they had every opportunity to win it. And it took everything outside of those opportunities with bad calls from the officiating and some bad play calling from the Lions. But guess what? They technically really did outduel the Kansas City Chiefs. They just came up on the wrong end of the win-loss column. It happens. And you should really be proud of this. You should be proud because guess what? We didn't run the ball the first 2 weeks. We ran it on this team. We actually attacked their weakness. We actually did it. We actually went after their weakest spot. We picked on their weakest cornerback. Shout out to Travis Ward, number 35 on Kansas City Chiefs. He was horrible. Horrible. Shout him out. We have to start to look at this game differently. What does this do? It lets them know that we can play with anybody else. And it lets me know that with a week off of people getting healed, hand getting coming back, Mike Davis is playing this game. Make no doubts about it. He's gonna play against Green Bay.
Is it in Green Bay or is it at Detroit?
Yeah, it's in Green Bay.
It's in Green Bay.
Yeah, he's definitely playing.
He's playing that game.
And you know what? I would have bet money that Aaron Rodgers is going to get hit a lot. I bet there might be a couple rough in the pasture calls.
I wouldn't be shocked if we win this game by double digits. And look, I've been fairly good when it comes to predictions this year, but I'm very confident not only are we going to win this game, but we are going to really dominate. The team is getting better, folks. They played a hell of a game today, and I'm absolutely proud. I think it was, Melvin Drew that said this was the best loss that I've seen in Lions history. It was a great game. I mean, they played a hell of a game. They played their hearts. They put everything into it, and they had a chance to win it against a Super Bowl contender. Absolutely proud of the way they played with the injuries and everything we had. Hell of a game.
Let me ask you fellas this real quick. Matthew Stafford, obviously not 100%, played today and played fantastic. And it looked like at times, just from him being out there, that he was inspiring this team that, no matter what was going to happen, that win, lose, or tie, they were going out with Matthew Stafford. As a leader, as a player, people say he's not elite. I think after this game that you have to say Matthew Stafford is elite. Micro Mike, what did Stafford show you this game as a leader and as a player?
He is one tough SOB. It plays injured all the time as a testament throughout his career last year. And the way, knowing he has that hip injury and the way he ran that down and hit that linebacker and gained 7 yards and pushed him back, it just shows you his toughness. We know all the stuff that's heard about him. He knows everything that's talked bad about him. He is one tough SOB. He puts everything on the line, and that's what you want to see from a leader. You want to see he'll put everything on the line. He don't play around, man. And when he makes mistakes, he lets it know. I guarantee you he's his own hardest critic, but he is always in it, man. Always in it. You're never... If you got a minute left in this game, you can always bet that Matthew Stafford can bring it down there. We had 20 seconds left in the game, and he threw it to the 50-yard line and did probably game close to a Hail Mary. I mean, it's insane to think about. It's insane, but he's absolutely a really good quarterback. And for people to say he's a bust, this, that, and the other, come on now.
And you know what? That goes back to the hurdle, because if TJ Hawkinson doesn't do that hurdle, guess what? He is out there for that Hail Mary play. And you never know what's going to happen with that. You know, you want your best players out there for the Hail Marys, and when they do stupid stuff like hurdle, I hope he's all right. It gives you a poor chance to win. But what's something to you, Mike, that stands out above all the rest that we have not talked about? Oh, Luke, you back? Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I'm back now. I'm just driving, man, trying to, like I said, I'm doing a family thing on my way home. So, but no, I mean, listen, the leader part of it is, yes, Stafford is clearly the leader. SOL, Stafford is our leader. I don't like him taking hits, but that one play where he lowered that shoulder on the guy, I'm like, you needed that because you cannot take the hit. Sometimes you're going to have to be the guy to give it to him. That one pass he threw up the middle, I don't even know how he got that in there. I swear I don't. That right there, talk about threading the needle. Oh, my God. And then the worst part about it is you didn't have anybody doing anything crazy. Everybody talking about SOL, but I mean, go back to that first game against the Cardinals where you got Danny Amendola thinking that he Deshaun Jackson and staying in bounds instead of going out. That didn't happen this time, people. They got out of bounds. I just think what you end up seeing happen was this team did something that we have not seen in a long time, and Drew pointed it out since that New England game, which is come to play, be competitive, and show that they got some fight. They played all 60 minutes, even down to the 2 seconds. They had a chance for it. It was that close. And I'm telling you, the leadership and his toughness should never be questioned. That should never be questioned.
And I'm seeing here that they're saying he's not a leader. I'm going to tell you what a real leader is because I have a little bit of education when it comes to leadership. I was a sergeant in the Army. I was the youngest sergeant in my company. At the age of 23, I got my stripes. At the age of 20, I got my stripes, and I went to Iraq when I was 23. How I got my stripes was not with the ability of just knowing things. I put my body on the line. I went out there, and I did everything I could. Whatever it be, take all the hits that being in the infantry was. I was the first one in, the last one out. I took a lot of hits. I took a lot of pain being in the Army, and I kept pushing through it. Went through 6 surgeries. I ripped out my shoulder 3 times, put it back in place my own damn self. And the reason I became a leader is people seen that. They seen the ability of me still training and still going through hell with all the pain that I was in. And they said, damn, I'll follow this guy through hell and back. And I got my sergeant stripes after 3 years of being in the Army. After I joined, I was 17. I got it when I was 20. And the reason I got it is they seen the hell that I went through. When I see people go through hell on the football field, to me, that's the definition of leadership. It's a pain in the ass. It's hard, but not every time is going to be the vocal in your mouth leader. But a person that you will go through hell and back with is the person that goes through hell and back. And that's a leader to me.
Ladies and gentlemen, how can you not subscribe to Micro Mike? This guy's
right. Absolutely.
His description or his link to his channel is in the description with Luke G and Carl. Subscribe to all these. These guys are fired up. If you have not subscribed to them already, go check them out.
Ooh, I'm heated right now. Look, I'm going back and forth with this clown. It's my friend though, but he make me mad though. Talking about he's bringing everything about what the Chiefs didn't do. The Chiefs ain't do this. The Chiefs ain't do that. The Chiefs ain't do that. Oh my gosh, I'm so mad. And he's trying to say the Packers are better than the Lions. Like, no, stop.
What did you take away from this game, Carl?
I took away from this game. I was happy with the performance. I mean, we left a lot of points on the board, man. We left 2 touchdowns on the board, man. But we still fought, man.
Did we though? Did we really leave them on the board, or did we get one of them? Because we got one of them. They just said it wasn't.
We got one of them though, yeah. But we could have had. What my point is, we could have had 14 more points on the board. That's my point.
Okay. I ain't mad at you. Listen, this is a good day. I'm in a good mood. Talk about it now.
I mean, I just think we could have had 14 more points on the board, and it wouldn't matter what the Chiefs didn't do. We still should win this game. Period. That's my point. And
yeah, we outplayed them. We outplayed them hands down.
And my point, and reason why I was mad texting my friend, because he didn't point out that we outplayed the Chiefs. He was trying to say the Chiefs didn't do this, Chiefs didn't do that. That's why I was mad, because we outplayed the Chiefs.
But that's what happens when the Lions were playing bad. It was more about what everybody else did versus what the Lions didn't do. And I'm like, well, wait a minute, the Lions didn't do this. The referee blew this call. You know, there's always these calls that come in that we don't expect to see. But yeah, I think we outplayed the Kansas City Chiefs, and I just think we just came out on the wrong end of the sticks on it. At the end of the day, could we have made it a 2-possession game? Sure, but at the end of the day, I love what the crowd did. I love what the team. The crowd never wavered. I didn't hear one boo, not one all, none of that. The only time I heard them get upset is when it was bad officiating. That's the only time I ever seen them get upset. Outside of that, man, we moved the ball without problem, which is a far cry from what we used to do with JBC. You know, so we anybody who
I was just impressed with how just the execution. I like how we got down the field with ease, and I was happy that Kerryon finally showed up because he got blocking.
Well, that's the thing we haven't talked about yet. Is the Lions had a good run game today? What was the key to success for the Lions to run the ball today? Was it the decoy of the deep threat of Matthew Stafford passing the ball, or did the offense just finally get the right push? Mike, let's start with you.
I'm going to say it's a little bit both now. I think they benched a player. Was it Joe Dahl that they benched? And they put in Wiggins?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, they benched him.
I think they were not getting – they're testing it out. I think when it comes to this coaching staff, they're giving players a short leash when it comes to this. And I think they realized, okay, this ain't working, so we're going to throw Wiggins in there. And I think the run game got started out with that. But I also believe it's the presence of Matthew Stafford. He was able to really sling the ball for the wide receivers and tight end. And so that opens it up as well. It doesn't force the safety into the box, and it gives it to a little more easier chance to run. So I think it's a mixture of both.
Yeah, for me, it's the TJ Hawkinson effect. I mean, they're treating him like he's already Travis Kelce, like he's already Rob Gronkowski. They're literally was sitting up there every time I watch a game. After that first game, they're watching him like a hawk. They're refusing to let him get it. Now he had some drops that I did not like. He had some drops, but that come with being a rookie. That come with being it. It's being able to understand. Okay, this is what they're giving you in terms of pressure, hits, and distance for the catch. But overall, that focus has drawn teams in a way to where they do know the box. Now they got to be strategic with it. And then the best part about it is we stayed with it. We actually ran some outside runs and some outside zones for once, some off tackles. God, it was so beautiful to see. Now, I am a little sad that they didn't run Ty Johnson more. I don't know what's going on with that. I would have loved to see them run Ty Johnson more. But overall, we took advantage of their weakness, and that's why you saw them run the ball so well. They knew that, hey, everybody can run the ball on this team. If we can run the ball on this team, we can keep them off the field. We can control the clock. I felt really good about their chances running the ball. I thought that's how we were going to have to win this game. It wasn't a matter of trying to stop them or slowing them down. But little did I know, we actually slowed them down, and we slowed them down to a real slow crawl because their quarterback didn't put no points on the board.
Mhm.
So
Hey,
it was
Luke.
a good day.
Hey, Luke. Let's kick it to Mike for final
I
thoughts. He's
mean,
not feeling well.
Yeah, man, I've been sick all man since yesterday, and I'm not feeling that great. So I just want to get off here, take some Nyquil, and chill out the rest of the day. But again, man, it was a really tough game, guys. Don't be going down here thinking the same old Lions. I'm
yeah.
telling you right now, this team is going to have a good season. We're going to have a good record, and I still believe, I absolutely now even more belief that the Lions going to win the NFC North. They're the toughest team. They have a lot of strengths, and they're getting better each game. It's getting better. So, with that said, folks, I want to say thank you for listening to myself through the pregame show and the postgame. I apologize when it comes to the in-game style, but I'm just not 100%. I am with Darius Slay right now. So hopefully I get a little bit better and I can bring you guys the content that you deserve. With that said, from Micro Mike, adios, man. I'm out.
Hey, hey, rest up, Mike, man.
Yeah,
Rest
man.
up. You earned it.
Yeah. You know, and,
I
and
mean,
also and also I was happy. You know, we still. I mean, if you look at it, we still didn't have our best corner, and we still didn't have
nope,
a Deshaun Hand. We didn't have Mike Daniels either, and we
nope,
still held Patrick Mahomes to no touchdown.
Well, that's the thing
man.
we haven't talked about.
What?
This is pass rush. You know, we didn't really throw that many sacks on the board, but we were moving the pocket and making Patrick Mahomes feel uncomfortable. And that's a lot of the things that people aren't talking about with the mistiming of his throws. When you move the pocket to the quarterback, they have to get out of the pocket or they have to throw the ball to avoid the sack. And that's something that no one is giving the Detroit Lions credit for right now. Trey Flowers was moving the pocket. Guess what? Big fella Snacks was moving the pocket. That D line played a very good game today. And that's something that no one out there is talking about.
I mean, yep. And
Nope.
this also
And they
showed me that.
and they not talking about the defensive scheme that was employed to throw them off like that. They was rushing three getting home, people. Rushing three getting home. Now I know somebody gonna say, "Well, Kansas City didn't have their best left tackle," but I'm sorry, Fisher is not that good. So it wasn't like they was gonna be getting anything special there. We really did a good job exposing them in a lot of different areas, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be the tale of two tapes. It's one of them things where, like Carl said, we didn't have a lot of people. Now, before I go any further, let me do this. I want to say this because I know TA is out with the family. TA hit 2,000 subscribers today, so shout out to TA for hitting 2,000 subscribers, man. Absolutely think, and that's because of you guys in the chat and you subscribers. He hit 2,000 subscribers today, and that's what I want to talk about. That's what's up. But man, I'm telling you, man, I'm so stoked up on this team because everything that I'm seeing is what they're seeing. Yeah, I mean, if you think about it, we were supposed to lose to the Eagles. Well, you swap that loss out for a win. You swap that loss to a win, and then they lose to the Kansas City Chiefs. They still walk out of the first quarter of games 2-1-1. That's a damn good start.
I'll
That
take
was part of
that
our schedule.
anytime,
Damn
anywhere.
good start.
That's incredible. No one thought we were going to do that well, especially me. So I'm
I mean,
very surprised with this team.
and this also shows me that we're the best team in the North, man. I look at the Green Bay Packers. I mean, when I watch the Eagles game, I'm not impressed. They left a lot of points on the board. I mean, the Eagles were still banged up. They still didn't have Deshaun Jackson. Alshon Jeffrey played. He put touchdowns on the board. He didn't play that well, and they still lost. So
Well, I think the thing to hit to your point, the Detroit Lions are the most complete team in the NFC North. Now,
yeah,
the Vikings, the Packers, and the Bears might do stuff better than the Lions at one aspect, but the Detroit Lions are the most complete team in the division. They do a little bit of everything well. I mean, I don't know what this team's weakness is. First, it was special teams. Well, guess what? I think they corrected special teams.
Yes, sir.
yeah.
Yes, sir. Every time we thought that they had a problem, they come back and respond to it. I think it was J-Mo who gave the example of a rap beef. When one rapper come after another one, it's about the rapper who was getting attacked, his response. When the response come back and it's on fire, that's what changes it. You look at this team right now and you telling me that they're not good enough to beat they're not good enough to beat, say, the Bears, the Vikings, or the Packers. I disagree. I think we are the team to beat in the NFC North. The only thing that can stop the Lions is the Lions. That's it.
Well, I think one thing that can stop the Lions is playing outside. I don't like the team playing outside. So if we have a road game, for example, if the weather's supposed to be bad in Green Bay, when we play in Green Bay, obviously, well, I don't want to jinx it because it's Wisconsin. It can snow any given minute, but it's not going to be a tundra out there. But I think that's really the only thing outside of the Lions stopping the Lions that could stop the Lions, if that makes any sense.
I
That's
mean,
kind of
that's
a
a
weird
good
way to
point.
word it.
That's a good point. But here's the thing. Our head coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, guess what we're seeing? For the first time that I can remember, we are seeing them make adjustments. Oh my God. They come out in the half tied 13-13. First thing they do is let the team push the ball loose,
Jamal Agnew,
fumble. Right?
out of all players.
Right. Of all people, Jamal Agnew, the guy that everybody want to go, the guy that I had to hear about repeatedly wasn't going to make the 53-man roster. Even though I kept saying that it doesn't make sense that they're going to cut a guy that's on a cheap contract, that guy made a play. Everybody, we talked about what happened with Coleman. How many forced fumbles he have? 2?
Well,
I mean,
he had one forced fumble, but then he had the good play that stopped the touchdown.
listen, this team wants the ball. When's the last time you saw a defense like this that want the ball? Every time they was going for the ball. Even that touchdown that they gave up in that game against the Eagles to Aguilar, they gave it up trying to go for the ball. They're not playing the receiver. They're playing because they want the ball. Every team we play now is going to be on notice. Cover the ball up because this team is different. They want the ball, and they're playing for the ball. And we have to start to acknowledge it. In a win, in a loss, I can't stand when fans want to come in here and be like, man, great win, great job, because the result was a win. Sometimes you can take some good from a bad situation. Sometimes you can just take it. And to me, yeah, we didn't get the win, but I sure feel like this is more of a win than I did that tie was. That tie felt like a loss. This feels like a win.
Hold on, I just want to point this out. I made the comment, I don't know what our weakness was, and Jacob said your defense. You gave up 34 points. It's the Kansas City Chiefs. They torched Baltimore. We held Patrick Mahomes,
To
the
no touchdowns.
MVP of the league, the best quarterback in the league, to 0 touchdowns. Let me say that again for you, Jacob. 0, as in not before 1 and after -1.
But,
0.
But Jacob, where was Darius Slay, Jacob?
And we were banged up.
Where was Darius Slay, Jacob? Where was he at? I don't know where he was.
Boy, y'all listen. Y'all talk to him. Talk to him. I ain't even got to do nothing. Talk to him.
Yo, what's up?
Where was Quandre Diggs? Where was he? I don't know.
J-Mo, how's it going, man?
What's good, man?
All right, first of all, I want to know, because you were at the game, how loud was it there?
Bro, I still can't hear. Like, and it made me so funny because Arrowhead got to like 145, and I told people our decibel meter is 118. He's like, that's not loud. Patrick Mahomes felt every single moment of that. Like, he was shook. You could tell.
Man, Patrick Mahomes on one play looked at the referee like, that a penalty? I'm gonna just keep running. That a penalty? No. Okay. I guess not. Yeah, they got to him.
No, man. My two main takeaways is one, Justin Coleman might be underpaid. That dude, oh my goodness. And 2, for all you Chiefs fans out there, y'all officially are not winning the Super Bowl. So call it a day, because Matt Patricia just gave Belichick the blueprint. Y'all not gonna win.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that.
I've never seen.
They're still missing their starting running back and Tyreek Hill. Those are 2 pretty big weapons offensively, and they still put up 34 points on us.
Well, the defense put up 7 points. So they only put up 26.
Okay, that's fair.
Defense. Well, also, they beat them last year with their full squad.
Wait a minute. They had what? They had 2 rushing touchdowns, right?
Yeah.
Right, 2 rushing touchdowns. So they're going 14. And then you
did Mahomes have a touchdown?
No,
0.
No.
Yeah, bro. Like I told, it's a wrap. But shout out to Stafford, because I was terrified that he was hurt. But I knew if Slay didn't play, that And I said if Slay didn't play in this game, it was going to be a pick 'em. That's what it looked like. But to me, the turning point is when those refs spent 30 minutes in New York. How we going to fuck over the Lions this year? And they was like, all right, let's take away the touchdown. After that, that killed us, bro.
Yeah, I mean, to me, that was one of the defining moments, but it wasn't as big as this whole. I could have even. Was it just me? Anybody who watched that game, was it just me, or were you not hearing phantom whistles in that entire game? Like somebody had a goddamn whistle and was blowing it. I know I heard it, and I'm like, yo,
yeah, man.
It was
what's his
phantom
name?
whistles.
Adam Bockhart. He said he was sitting right next to the refs when they called one of the BS calls. And the ref was looking like, yeah, I messed up. I don't care. Like, word, that's how y'all feel. Like, in that roughing the passer call, like, why does it always happen to us? It happened last week. It happened this week. We just pushed them to the ground, roughing the passer. Stafford gets sent to the morgue. Still don't get a call. But I do want to say, though, this is the happiest in my entire life I've ever felt after a loss. Like, we lost. I'm like, all right. Like, I don't even feel bad. I know some fans will feel bad, but, like, we the best team in this division. It's not close. And we going to destroy Green Bay. I've been telling y'all all year, and I'm sticking with it.
I think we'll beat Green Bay, but I think it's really weather permitting. I don't like the Lions when they play outside. But the positive
but Stafford be money in Lambeau.
It's going to rely on carry on. Because if it's raining and stuff, you know, I'm not sure how good the receivers are going to be with their footing and stuff out there, slipping and stuff. It's probably going to be a running game. And I think, you know, carry on had a breakout game. A lot of people in the chat, I'm not sure if any of them are in here now.
That wasn't a fumble, by the way. I saw it live. That wasn't a fumble. They cheated. I'm not just saying that because I'm a Lions fan. I saw them replay that jump 30,000 times. His knee was down. But you know, we're not gonna get those calls.
Well, they didn't show a very good camera angle on TV.
They didn't. It wasn't a fumble. I'm telling you, the crowd was heated. That was not. He didn't fumble.
Yeah, I don't know what it was looking at for the field.
I think it's more our offense fault. When you have a play like that, you tackle. Like, did they let the dude run right past him? You tackle that dude no matter what.
But you can't. You can't
three
say
defenders,
that.
But
you can't say that.
You gotta. If they would have tackled him, we won the game.
Yeah, but see the problem. Most people know in that situation that's a down, that's a dead down. If they go and tackle him and the whistle was blown, now you got a bad penalty.
But it's better than them getting a free 7 that they shouldn't even got. But to me, those two plays, Kenny Golladay and Carry-On, that's why we love. But we needed Slay, man. I just feel like in the clutch when Coleman got that pass breakup, and he almost could have picked it off. I'm like, dang it, that was Slay. He picked it off. But Coleman played amazing, so I don't got no complaints.
Only thing I can say bad about this game is that fumble. Because you're supposed to play until you hear the whistle, and they didn't blow the whistle. Everyone just kind of gave up on it, which, you know, it's kind of it's a BS call and a BS move and stuff. But they talked about it on the TV. Was it on Fox? Yeah, it was on Fox. That in the previous week that their officials did, I don't remember where they said they were playing at.
That same crew.
They blew it dead, and they took hell for it. So, of course, against the Lions, they didn't blow it dead.
Right.
And they put up 7 against
But, I mean, I'm not going to say that. I mean, it was the Lions. They've been doing that all the games since that play. All the crew's been doing that.
But it was that crew. It was that crew.
Oh, wow.
Well, listen. My thing is, whether he fumble or not, it don't matter. What the hell is he doing trying to extend the ball out? He's not by the 1 yard line. He got to know his down and distance, period. So that's on him.
That's what I was saying, Luke.
What do you mean, whether he fumbled or not? Why is he extending the ball out? Well, if he didn't fumble, don't matter if he extended the ball out. He didn't fumble.
It does matter because now, guess what? They're going to question it like they did and give up that crazy play. Listen, that's not the only play that they had that kind of made me go, what the hell was that? It was a one play where it was 3rd down and Stafford gets out the pocket. I'm like, throw the damn ball away or slide at this point. I don't know what he did to do. He fumbled it. I said, okay. You got to know the game situation. Now, those are things that I would never, ever ignore. Overall, in the game, I saw a lot of positives, way more than the negatives. But overall, you know, that's going into detail. And when I go into detail, there are certain things that I noticed that still need to be fixed, like understanding the game situation. And that was something that Carry-on needed to understand. You didn't need to extend the ball out because guess what? That would have only made it what, second down? You didn't
I
need that.
don't care. He didn't fumble. That's the way I look at it.
Well, let me throw this out there. I want to
If
have
the
one
refs
more.
officiate correctly, we win the game.
I want to ask you guys one more question before we open up to the chat to ask us some questions. What are your guys' opinion on Matt Patricia doing the early challenge for the first down possession that ended up costing us? Because then we would have had more room to challenge the fumble of
Man,
Kerryon Johnson. Well, I don't know if we would have been able to because all scoring plays a review. And did they even review the Kerryon fumble on the
Yeah, they
touchdown?
did. They
they
did.
reviewed it.
They did.
They reviewed it.
And
But you,
They didn't
I
cost us the
honestly,
game.
I thought that was a first down. Though. I was surprised when they reviewed it and it still wasn't a first down. I thought that was a first down.
I mean, yeah, I think it's a first down too, but I hated the challenge. I hated the challenge because the game was still early. I think they had only been playing for about a minute and a half, so that challenge wasn't going to make or break us.
I mean, and it was still 31.
There's another play that we had where I was like, "Damn, he can't even challenge it because now the fear of losing a timeout and he may need him." So, but that challenge early on made me sick because I'm like, at that point, if you don't get it, just line up like you did and go get the first down. You don't need to challenge it for that at that point because guess what? That challenge doesn't do anything to change the outcome of the game, whether you get it or you don't. You knew it was 3rd and 1. Either way, it was, and if he had the first, he had the first. But there was a few other plays where they couldn't even do nothing about it because guess what? They could have been able to challenge the so-called the one play where Kerryon Johnson's in the end zone. They could have challenged that one, but he was afraid to do it because he had just lost the challenge. So
And
to me, that challenge was huge.
Also, Darrell Bevel, he confused me sometimes in that game because I remember on one of our drives where we had to kick a field goal, it was 2nd and 1. We did a pass play and then they stopped us. I'm like, just run the ball on 2nd and 1. I don't, it's just confusing. But I think, hey man, this game was great. We made the Chiefs look like the Chiefs, a pretty team that with all them fumbles, they didn't know what was going on. There was a pretty team, but we played well. We just gotta learn how to execute a little bit better because our defense gave it all they had, and every time I feel like we gotta stop, the refs call a call.
Yeah, I mean, but that's part of it. The one thing that I think that we have to look
And
at
Mahomes
is say,
scrambling. Oh my gosh.
There's a lot of Chiefs fans in here. We're not bad mouthing the Chiefs. The Chiefs played a pretty good game.
Yeah, they did.
They beat us.
They
at
did.
the end of the day.
The results showed that the Kansas City Chiefs won, but the Lions outplayed them. And if you're a Chiefs fan, you got to be honest and say they did. Your quarterback didn't throw for a touchdown, didn't run for a touchdown, didn't do nothing. It really boiled down to that bogus fumble that Kerryon extended out for. That's what it really boils down to as the swing play. Outside of that play, your offense would have only, and then listen, the 2 times that the Kansas City Chiefs got into scoring position to run the ball in, those came on penalties.
Yeah, that snacks penalty, what the hell? But man, but that last drive when Mahomes got the ball back, I'm like, yeah, I don't think our defense is gonna be able to stop him. And 3rd and 8, Phillip Rivers did the same thing. What is up with the Lions in this? He runs for 20 yards. Phillip Rivers did the same thing, ran for 17 yards. I find a big moment the quarterback always scrambles. It's never a pass breakup. It's never a pass. It's a quarterback scramble. Every time.
Listen, with that team, I would rather him run. I would much rather him run than him throw it to one of those fast receivers or that tight end.
Hey man, so, I'm with you. Shout out to Tracy Walker too. He did way better than I expected.
Listen, I just think in this game, I saw so many improvements. They clearly won that first quarter. The second quarter, we could call it a tie. That 3rd quarter, I thought the Lions won that quarter. It was the 4th quarter where they tied at, and that one play, that one possession came at the Hunters. And the truth is, had they not called the touchdown play for Kenny Galladay, we would have just chewed more clock down to the 2-minute warning and would have still turned around and scored. So that play could have came at the Hunters too, because if they ruled it that's not a touchdown, even though it was like the first one, then guess what?
I can't believe they did that, bro. That it made me believe the NFL rigged because that was one of the clearest touchdowns I ever seen in my life.
Yeah, I don't even know what a touchdown is anymore, and I don't know what a pass interference is anymore. I
Bruh,
don't.
like he caught it and went to the ground with 2 feet in it. What else more does he have to
The
do?
ball never even came closer than the ground.
Like, what, he got to show you the ball while he midair and catch it one hand like Odell? Like, and then one of my close buddies on Twitter, when as soon as that play happened, he's a Chiefs fan. He like, yo, they really just messed y'all up on that. I was like, bro, I don't even want to talk about it because I don't know how that's not a touchdown. Like, we've seen some crazy plays on the Lions, but that was more clear than Calvin Johnson touchdown. Like, how was that not a touchdown?
Take it a step further, J-Mo. Outside of touchdown up there, right? And you go back to the fumble that they had. The Kansas City Chiefs were playing from behind the entire time. They were playing from behind the entire time. It took them forever to get the lead, and they came on some of the most unusual things. This is why I am so encouraged by this team. So encouraged, man.
Kansas City should be scared because Bill Belichick, he got the blueprint. It's a wrap.
JMO, before we move on, JMO, let me ask you this real quick because it's something we talked about when we first went live. I don't know if you caught it or not, but a lot of people in the chat were saying SOL, same old Lions. And Luke G, go back after this ends and watch it. Luke went off. What's your reaction to the people saying this is the same old Lions? Because quite frankly, it's not.
Where's Kansas City in the power rankings? 2? We were supposed to win this game. Explain to me how we were supposed to beat the Kansas City Chiefs. Really? Like, that don't even make sense. We lost to the second best team in the NFL? I don't understand. Like, I don't.
By four, without our best quarterback.
Without our second, in my opinion, the second best player on the entire team. Without our second best player, an injured quarterback. I mean, when Stafford was hurt, I was literally shaking in my boots. I'm like, yeah, it's a wrap. And he came out and played one of the greatest games the greatest game I've ever seen him play injured. And when I think about it, bro, we made the Chiefs scared. We knocked them out of their comfort zone, just like I said we needed to do, and we caused a lot of turnovers. And at the end of the day, I said this 1,000 times, because we only had 20 seconds. It's gonna come down to who get the ball last. The Chiefs got the ball last, so they won the game. Lions got the ball last. We could have won the game, but it wasn't enough time on the clock. And I know a lot of fans in the stadium when Patricia was calling timeouts, they wasn't smart enough to realize he's calling timeouts so Stafford can get a chance. So, but and I wanted them to call that touchdown too, because if they didn't at the end of the game, if they didn't call that touchdown, then we definitely would have lost because they would have got a touchdown and the clock would have ran out.
We got Nomus J in the building. You there, Gnome?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. I'll ask you the same question. What's your reaction to people saying this is the same old Lions?
Same old Lions. Oh
same old Lions? Well, I say y'all the same old fans, and y'all need to learn how the game is played. You clearly saw what I saw today. You clearly saw this man play his whole behind off. And Luke, if you even think about making another How Stafford needs to improve video, I'm coming at you. Because let me tell you, I was screaming off the top of my lungs watching this brother go out there and break 2 tackles that would have been sacks normally and get up in the face of another man because he's tired of the BS. I'm tired of people saying the same old lines. Learn the game. Learn the game. Because you clearly saw this dude just go out here and put this whole team on his back. And this is without Darius Slay. So I give shout outs and credit at times to the secondary for holding their own without him. And I give definitely the main shout out goes to Stafford. Patrick Mahomes is just another man in my eyes. I'm sorry. Great quarterback. Love the guy. Wish he was a Tiger, but just another man. He's not some god. He's not unbeatable. He's been proven he can be beaten. And I guarantee you after this is not me trying to sound like salty fan. I think the Chiefs will have some struggling games after this. I think we did to them today what we did to the Rams last year. I'm going on.
I already said that. No, I said they gave a blueprint to Bill Belichick. They not winning the Super Bowl. It's a wrap.
Take it a step further, though. Take it a step further. Because any fan.
Oh wait, I'll take it a step further. I'm definitely not scared of our divisional rivals. We sweeping them boys this year.
Listen. I'm just gonna push it though. This goes out to the people saying same old lines, and this goes out to those Kansas City Chiefs fans who talking trash. If I were to tell you that your quarterback was thrown for one single score, you would have told me I was crazy and I don't know football. You would have told me that I was out of my mind, or I was on some type of drug, or I was drunk. If I would have told you that our defense would have held your quarterback scoreless, you would have told me it's a joke. So to you, same old Lions fans, I say to you, don't be no chump. Please do your research because I guarantee you, if that was a bet in Vegas, everybody would have lost their money.
Yeah, like I had Chiefs fans, he about to throw for 700, and I kept telling Chiefs fans, I'm like, yo, Ford Field is not an easy place to play. And they'd be like, well, Mahomes. I was like, well, ask Aaron Rodgers, ask Tom Brady, ask Drew Brees and Phillip Rivers, and Ben Roethlisberger how easy it is to play. Oh, Mahomes. I'm like, bro, it's not easy. And when I was in that stadium, he felt like I told you, he felt all the pressure. The defense confused him a lot. And, we just couldn't get to him enough. But I just feel like, really Kansas City defense kind of won him that game. I can't believe I'm saying it. But to me, this is what Mahomes' second worst game of his career. His first worst game was against Jacksonville when he didn't score a touchdown. We gave him his second worst game of his career. So
well, let's give credit where credit is due. Kansas City's pass rush was crazy today. We couldn't stop them.
So mad about that. Man. I was so mad about that, man. Yeah, I said they defense.
Chris Jones looking like Reggie White out there. I'm like, bro.
Chris Jones line is up.
No, that's what I said. They defense won them this game. To be honest, man, because they made a couple stops. They got to Stafford.
No, to me they blitzed the ball a lot, and our offensive lineman didn't, to me, pick up on the blocks. I feel like that's what it was. I don't think their pass rush was that good. I just think they knew when to hit the blitz on us. As opposed to
it's not that their pass rush wasn't good. It's just the defense made plays.
I'll tell you
they made the biggest play of the game.
I'll tell you this. Kansas City came out that game, and I guarantee you they was like, we was fortunate. We was very fortunate.
Well,
and
Kansas
I bet you
Wait, hold up. Wait, shout out to the Kansas City Chiefs fan. He said the Kansas City Chiefs not the only one that need to beat the Pats. We all need to beat the Pats. They're a juggernaut. Hey, man, shout out to you, my dude. The Pats been wreaking. Yeah, man, I know. If Kansas City fans don't get a defense, like I'm telling you, Bill Belichick is about to watch that tape for the next 4 weeks.
I mean, for the Chiefs fans out there who are in the chat right now, I'm going to give you credit because you guys played a great game. It was an awesome game to watch for fans. But you guys should be proud with this win because really this was your first test. They talked about it on the broadcast and everything. You guys haven't had competition like this in this late of a game all season long, and you overcame everything. You went to a hostile environment. Fans were crazy. J-Mo can attest to that. He was there. You played a great defense, and you even played a better offense. It's not like the Lions played a bad game at all. The Chiefs were better. And we're not denying that. But if the ball went a couple other ways, you can't come out here and say that the Lions got smoked or got creamed or Kansas City ran away with it.
We were leading like the whole game.
It took 2 Hail Mary fails for the game to end. So you can't come out here and say that Kansas City just came out here and dominated or anything like that. You guys should be happy with the win because guess what? Detroit is going to win the NFC North. So you just beat a playoff team, a very good one in the opposite division. You guys should take that with some credibility.
Preach. And the other part of it is to those same old Lions fans, take a moment to understand how football works. The Lions just lost to a non-conference team. A non-conference team. I'm going to say it again. A non-conference team. They get a bye week to heal up and go and play a division opponent. You got to be feeling good about that game.
Yeah, and how many Lions fans had us losing 2 games in the first 4 games? We all had us losing to Philly, but, injuries, we beat Philly. We had us beating Kansas City, but we got injuries, so we lost the game. That's just how the NFL works, man. And winning beating the Eagles is way more important because the Eagles trying to go make the playoff.
And they're a conference team. Yep.
Beating the Eagles is way more important, man. We saw what the Eagles did to the Packers.
Let me cut you off here for a second because Chiefs Kingdom here says Lions are trash. And if that is the case, why did it take you to the last play of the game to beat this trash team if you're supposed to be the Super Bowl contender?
Why y'all getting offended? They Chiefs fans, bro. Let them live. Because when Tom Brady come into town, he gonna give y'all that work.
Listen, this ain't got nothing to do with no Tom Brady. Let them talk. They team won. Let them talk. I know one thing. They was holding their shit in their ass and their breath while we was marching up and down that field. So they can talk right now because they won. But they know for a fact that they was up there holding their breath the entire time. And here go another thing for them. Those ones who want to talk crazy like that and say we trash, guess what? That trash team didn't let your quarterback do nothing. Do nothing. Get out of here.
Yeah, for the record, I'm only speaking for myself, but this is the Chiefs fans, man. I love Patrick Mahomes, bro, but I was surprised, man, when I saw him come out, warm up. He looked all sharp. I started getting scared. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's about to be a long day. Matt Patricia is a defensive genius, man. He needs the credit. He's a defensive genius.
Pat Mahomes is my man, man.
Pat
Outside of him
Mahomes
on the
looking
line,
like a
he's my
fish out of
favorite
water.
player.
No, I love, dude. He's the greatest quarterback I ever seen. I already made a video about it.
I mean,
course,
Liv
people didn't agree.
Rupp right here is a real Chiefs fan, and even he's saying the Lions aren't trash because you know what? He
Yeah.
is unbiased, and he's actually a true football fan.
Right. That was a great game, man. Like,
It was an amazing game. It was a game that I
it
guarantee
should have
you.
been on Sunday Night Football, like you were saying.
And right, and the NFL is sick that they didn't make this the prime time. I guarantee you.
There's
They're
not
sick.
going to be a more entertaining game than this one.
No,
Of course
absolutely
not, man.
The announcers were saying every other possession, everyone scored that this is an amazing game. It was back and forth. No one knew who was going to win, and that's what.
Very good game, man. I love what I saw out of Kansas City because I knew this was going to be a chess match, and I knew that this was going to come down to a game of possessions. But one of the things that I definitely give Kansas City credit for was while we were able to take away Travis Kelce, when it mattered, they fought the right plays to dial up to get him open. And Travis Kelce made one of the greatest plays in NFL history, in my opinion, with the hands up, knowing that they were going for the swipe. And he throws it to the sideline. I'm like, yo, what in the world?
Who wants
that might be the greatest play I've seen all year. I was like, wait, they said that? Did they draw this up? I'm like, wait, what? And yeah, you're right. That was one of the greatest plays probably.
Man, that's one. Listen, that's going to be a Sports Center top 10. That's going to be a Sports Center top 10.
That was amazing what he did. I was like, wow, the Chiefs is really for real.
And I heard people talking about where's our run defense. I'm like, y'all realize they gave up 2 big runs. I mean, that's really where all their yards came from. 2 big runs.
LaShawn McCoy wasn't that good. He just had one good run. I don't care.
Oh, hold on. Put some respect on Shady. Shady is the man still. He's not even supposed to be top
Shady is the man still.
I wish
we made Shady fumble though. We made Shady fumble.
I mean, Shady was all right to me. I mean, he still ain't the same Shady, but you know, he ain't. He was all right.
He's still a good backup.
No, he's good. I like him on my arsenal.
I'll tell you this much. They really did do enough to throw off the mechanics of Patrick Mahomes because he had some passes where I'm like, God, that's under. Whoa, that's over. Wow, that's behind.
But my point is, it's confusing him because some of those passes he was missing, he makes. Like, it was sometimes where I was like, oh, snap. Because I know Mahomes can get it there, and he just overthrew the guy. I'm like, wow, okay. Like, how many times have you seen Mahomes have that many incomplete, like a 1st and 10 incompletion? Like, we did that to him like 4 times. Like, it was passes that we know Mahomes could make, but he was just missing them, and it's because he was confused. It happens. He's a young quarterback. Our defense really confused me, man.
Randy.
But shout out to the secondary. What'd you say?
Let's transition here to Randy, a Chiefs fan. It says, at least I don't live in Detroit.
I mean, you live in Kansas City.
I mean, he probably would thrive in Detroit.
I don't know what that means.
How's Kansas City better than Detroit? You live if you was in New York, I'm gonna let you have it. You live in Kansas City, bro.
I mean, no, but this is my thing. People kill me. Missouri has its share of crime, and Kansas City got its share of crime. Everybody got crime. What does that mean? I don't live in Detroit. Okay.
Yeah, Detroit is mad gentrified now too. If you look downtown,
hey,
Detroit is not the same.
I'm gonna say this, all right. At least the city of Detroit loves us. I can't say the same about Kansas City to you, Randy.
I don't even know, bro. Why is y'all even going at these Chiefs fans, bro? Like, let them live.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Like, I'm not concerned, bro. I got Chiefs fans that was talking like so much stuff to me. I was ready to find the address, and they coming back to me like, "Yo, I apologize, y'all was our biggest test. My fault." Like,
man, listen, because
fun, bro.
Real recognize real, and I think people who recognize real football understand what happened in this game. They know and they look at it and they go, "Man, this game was so much different than what I thought it was going to be." All I kept hearing was we was getting blown out. That's all I kept hearing.
No, all I kept hearing was, and like I just said, I love Mahomes to death, but they was making me hate Mahomes, bro. Like if I hear Mahomes one more time, bro. But all I was hearing, oh, Mahomes in the dome. Oh, track shoes. Our receivers were 4-3. I'm like, all of our defensive backs are the fastest guys in the league. They didn't know that. They found out the hard way with man coverage. We locked them down. They're like, Mahomes in the dome. Oh my lord. No touchdown. Man. I didn't even know if he had a touchdown, bro. Like that's
he
how
didn't have a touchdown.
No, I'm saying I didn't know. I had to ask you for confirmation.
No, he did not. He. The truth is this, man. It was two good teams that showed up and played some damn good football, and both fan bases should be excited about it. We should. Both fan bases should be excited about it.
Can I have one of you brothers read that comment for me? I can't read that one.
KC ain't shit, and I'm from KC, nigga.
Thank you. Thank you for reading that one.
Oh my goodness, bro. Man, like I said, I don't want to get into a battle with a can't. Like, why is there so much animosity? Y'all won the game. I think they're mad that we almost beat them. That's what I think they're mad about. Otherwise, they wouldn't be talking shit. They'd be like, "Yo, these niggas."
No, what it is this. Everybody want their 15 minutes of fame, and so they figure, okay, on here, if I say something crazy, he'll put it on the screen. That's what they're thinking.
It might be a mixture of both. I think Jimo's got a point because, I mean, historically, the Lions have been a terrible team since the 50s. And when you come here, you think you're going to have an easy win because people outside of Detroit and outside of Michigan, they don't know that much about the Lions. They don't know what this team has done, and they don't watch them. All they do is they watch ESPN, they watch NFL Network, who don't even watch the Lions. Yeah. So they tell them, "Oh, you're gonna go in Detroit. You're gonna win by 35 points." I don't know what the spread was.
No, I was telling them, bro. Ford Field is literally one of the 7 toughest places to play in it. Like, it's not easy to play in Ford Field. That's why every time Aaron Rodgers come here, besides that one play that we ain't gonna talk about in 2015, I mean, he look like a deer in headlights. Aaron Rodgers don't like coming here.
I mean, I can't really throw shade at those people who think, oh, that's gonna be easy because you got dumbass niggas like James Jones talking about Detroit Ford Field's like a practice field. Like, come on, bro.
Oh no, Kansas City felt like they look because I could see it, bro. They felt intimidated. Of course, they still won the game, but you could tell, bro. They was just like, yo, like I don't like this atmosphere. And one thing I did want to say, man, is like I said, most Lions fans had us losing 2 games. Now we should be 3-1. We ain't gonna do that. But the thing with the rest of the teams in our division got to play Kansas City, and they all gonna take L's. The Bears game will be the game that they might get a dub, but I think Mahomes will throw a touchdown in there. But they still got to play the rest of the division. So when I think and it's gonna be later on in the season when Kansas City is really rolling. Yeah. So when I think about it like that, I'm like, well, hey, we all gonna lose to Kansas City. Like the Bears is probably the best shot because
I just always talk about this one fact right here. If your expectations were that they were going to lose, then you shouldn't be shocked. You should be even more proud because they had a chance to win it. If your expectations were that they were going to win, I can understand your disappointment, which I expected them to win. However, I'm not disappointed because I saw that we had a chance to win. Yeah. It's about expectations.
Well, y'all knew my caveat. I said it in my video. I said it on here. I was like, we have Slay, we win. We don't have Slay, it's a pick'em. And that's what the game looked like, a pick'em game.
The thing is,
we had Slay, we win. I just feel like that.
The thing is that I feel good because I really predicted exactly what was going to happen in this game. I said that we was going to run the ball and we were going to dominate time of possession, and it was going to be a competitive game. And then in my video that I recorded, but I didn't post, but I recorded it because I didn't have time to edit it.
Gotta post them boys, bro.
But I said the game would be 35-30 Kansas City. I was 1 point off, but still, I still literally predicted this whole game. I said we were gonna run the ball and that we was gonna give Patrick Mahomes hell. I basically predicted what was gonna happen in the game. Like I'm not like.
Bro, imagine if we had Mike Daniels and Deshaun Hand, they would have lost for sure.
And Darius
Slay, bro, they would have lost. But of course, Kansas City fans, we had Tyreek Hill, we'll put Slay on. Shut up. So,
I mean, you got people in the chat talking about if we had Eric Fisher, trash Eric Fisher. That dude, he ain't no better than Taylor Decker. And if we had Tyreek Hill, wait. If we had Tyreek Hill, we would have blew y'all out. Oh, wait a minute. We didn't have Slay. We lost our best tight end in the game. We lost our best safety in the game. Where would y'all gonna blow us out at? What?
Exactly.
And I think with that being said, it's a great spot to do final thoughts. We've had a great show. We are
Absolutely.
we are what are we? 7 thumbs up away from 100. So let's go ahead and get that
Let's
real
get
quick
them
Man,
likes
before we,
up.
get her in, man. Get her in. Get her
before
done.
we before we wrap it up because these fellas, even if you don't agree with them, they do a great job. They're entertaining, and if you guys have missed the very beginning of the show, I highly recommend going back and rewatching it once this is over because there was a lot of energy
I agree with them, bro.
and a lot of funny stuff. So I guess without further ado, Carl, we're gonna start with you since you're the youngest. What are your final thoughts on this week?
Oh man, I was happy for when I saw. I mean, I basically predicted what was gonna happen, but I didn't expect us to fight like this. I expected to hold Patrick Mahomes to no touchdowns. Like I couldn't have predicted that outcome, especially with Darius Slay not playing. Like I couldn't predict that outcome. So I was I was happy with what I saw, and this showed me that I think we're the best team in our division. I think we're gonna win the division because like when I look at these teams, like I don't see any team in this division that's better than the Lions. Like the Packers show me what they're capable of against the Eagles, and I'm watching this Chicago game, and I see Minnesota ain't shit without Delvin Cook. So
Wait,
without
what
Delvin
happened to
Cook
Dalvin
running,
Cook?
I said Delvin Cook he's not playing well, and Vikings
Oh,
got to
okay.
chill out, and
Okay.
like they're playing horrible without him. If he's not playing well, they're nothing. And I just think we had the most balanced team in this division, and I think we should win this division. And with the extra rest, and the Packers got to play a tough game next week against the Cowboys at Dallas. I think we're gonna beat the Packers pretty handily at Lambeau Field. So I like what I see so far. I think we're in a good position to win this division.
I like the take. I appreciate you coming out. Hopefully we see you Monday night. We'll talk about that here in a minute. 313 JMO, who was at the game. What are your final thoughts on this game and then this week as a whole?
First of all, Don Burr is right. The ref did win the game for the Chiefs, but I'm gonna let it go. No, I'm not. I'm gonna remember this forever. I'm gonna bring this. Y'all think I'm joking. I'm gonna bring this up 3 years from now. Remember when the refs took away Galladay touchdown? Yeah, I'm never gonna forget this. But anyway, my main takeaway was Justin Coleman is underpaid. That dude is really, really good. Shout out to Stafford, man, because whenever he gets hurt, he doesn't play well. You know, a lot of Chiefs fans don't realize our best player was playing injured with a back injury. You know, but we ain't gonna talk about that. Still play better than y'all quarterback, but we ain't gonna talk about that. And shout out to Matt Patricia. I mean, this guy's a defensive genius. I knew he was gonna dial up something to stymie them, but he played his heart out on that side of the ball. And honestly, like I said, I've never been more happy with a loss in my life. Like, obviously, I don't like losing, but like watching that game, it's like I don't believe in moral victories, but it's kind of like that. Because when we played the Chargers, a lot of Lions fans were like, yo, we lost that game, but we won on the scoreboard. Y'all know exactly what I mean. So, but this game, this was a game that we actually did lose, but if you watch the game, it gives you a lot of confidence. And like I said, the main thing I love about this team is they getting better every week. Every week they get better. And you know, when coaches say that, it's kind of cliche, but we really get better every week. And I know this team believes in Matt Patricia. I mean, the way they played, I can't believe it. I was actually impressed. I didn't expect them to play that well without Darius Slay, to be honest. I mean, they were lights out. Mike Ford, he played really well, but the last thing I gotta say is kickers don't like coming to Ford Field. They always miss a kick, no matter what. And the second thing is, man, y'all should be very excited. Like Carl said, we will win this division. We're gonna get so healthy after the bye week. The bye week came at the perfect time for us. We're gonna get so healthy, and this team is gonna be a force to be reckoned with, man.
I like
We
it.
definitely winning the division.
I fully agree with you after this one. Mr. Luke, are you there?
Oh yeah, man. I'm here, man. I'm up here. I'm almost back home. My baby in the backseat crying. Let me get to it. Uh, quick note: if you are not in the mood for anything crazy, then don't accept it. Simply just do your best to ignore the white noise in the background and enjoy your best life. With that being said, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining the show. Thank you for supporting the DSA. And don't be no chump, please. Please do your research.
And I do want to say one thing with my predictions. If Slay would have played, y'all would have lost. That's all I'm gonna say. And you know, not having our second best player, man, it's hard to beat the best team in the NFL like that.
I agree. So with that being said, it is my turn for final thoughts. I want to thank all you guys for coming out, even the Chiefs fans who weren't so polite. thank you for coming out because I got paid for it, and that means so much more to me. Anyway, all in all, these teams are both really good. Obviously, the Chiefs have a higher ceiling than the Lions, or should I at least say more expectations than the Lions. So the way that the Lions came out here and played and didn't back down from it, I am so happy, so happy. Um, I don't, like I said, like everyone else said, I don't know if I've been more happy with a loss in my life, but it is what it is. We took the L. There's no denying that. So the only thing we can do here is get better and learn from it. But that being said, Twitter, Instagram in the description, also in the description. All the links to the DSA members are in there as well. So if you thought Luke G was funny on his rants, check him out. If you like something Carl said, guess what? Check him out. If you're a veteran like Mike, check him out. He's in the description as well. And if you don't like JMO, a lot of people don't. He talks a lot of trash, but he's in there as well. So
Hey man, y'all know y'all love me, Chiefs fans. I've been arguing with y'all all week. They love me. I got them saying sorry.
Also, before we go tomorrow night, we'll be live again 8 p.m. With our basketball talk show Above the Rim. As you can see right there, Devin's going to be there. It's going to be fun. Detroit basketball is back, so I can't wait for that. But without further ado, thank you guys again for coming out, and we'll see you next week. Peace.
Oh my goodness, bro. Kirk Cousins suck.
Got that one in before the buzzer.
Yeah.